Hey Moon Magic Super Souls, welcome to today's readings. Beautiful souls, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you are doing brilliantly well. Now, my beautiful souls, today's reading, we are asking actually about a past life connection with a specific person. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean it's a romantic person. I guess for some of you it could be, but actually it's about a person. It could be a friend, it could be somebody who's walking alongside you, supporting you, it could be your nemesis, your worst nightmare, it could be a family member, but this is about a past life connection to someone who's in your life right now. And we're going to be asking, what's the purpose? You know, why have you come together? What's the purpose? What's the learning? What's the growth? What is aiding you in your growth, your evolution, your soul's evolution right here and right now? So why is this person in your life right now? Who are they? Where have you come from together? What's that about? So this is the subject matter of our reading, and it seems very fitting. I've chosen to do these readings right now. Just astrologically, there's so many pockets of almost portals of profound growth, leaps of evolution at the moment, and of course they're often triggered by our connections with other people. So I was really drawn to do this reading today. So we have 3 cards to choose from. The timestamps, as always, are in the description, and I'll put them in a comment as well, along with all the cards I'm using. So I've got some really gorgeous oracle cards, a variety of cards and tarot cards I'm using today. So I will list them all, and if I have a link to them for you, I will put that in as well. And those will be in the description too, so you can find any of the cards you like. So beautiful souls, let me hold these up for you. Now, if you actually have someone in mind already, then it's really worth just bringing them to the forefront of your mind and seeing which of these cards, or whether the pendulum and the crystals here are connecting in. Just bring that person to mind. But if you don't have anyone to mind and you find you're just drawn to a particular pile or more than one pile, what you will probably find is, as the reading emerges, you'll realize who it's about and what that connection is about, and hopefully that will bring, you know, guidance, assistance as to how to navigate this and get the very best from this connection, this relationship with this person, you know, however they are showing up in your world, you know, good, bad, or indifferent, really. So let me show you the cards. So we have, for pile 1, we have the card of the healer. Okay, passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind and spirit, ability to help transform pain into healing. This is the light attribute. We have the shadow attribute, taking advantage of those who need help, failing to care for oneself. So that is the card of healer for pile 1. And we also have the beautiful carnelian pendulum. So this pendulum has been set with many little pieces of carnelian. This is what it looks like. So that is pile 1. Okay, pile 2, we have the card of the alchemist. And the light attribute is transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. The shadow attribute, misuse of the power and knowledge that comes through spiritual practice. So that's pile 2. And we have the quartz crystal ball. This is what this looks like. Okay. And then pile 3. We have the card of companion. The light attributes, loyalty, tenacity and unselfishness. The shadow attributes, betrayal by misusing confidences, loss of personal identity. So that is pile 3. And with pile 3, we have the beautiful amethyst crystal heart. Okay, this is what it's looking like. Okay, so my beautiful souls, timestamps are below, and I will leave the video running for just a few moments longer in case you need a little bit more time, and I will see you in the readings in just a moment. Hey Pile 1, welcome to your reading. So beautiful souls, you have the card of the healer and the carnelian pendulum. The very first thing I'm actually going to do is draw an Akashic card. Now we have the Two of Scrolls. Interestingly enough, two worlds. It came kind of out in reverse. Okay, which for me is telling me that something is coming to an end. Now this is very, very interesting with your card of the healer, because what we see in this card is somebody who has worked her fingers to the bone and she's got very little to show for it. She hasn't been paid well for her efforts, for her energy. I mean, it's almost like she's here in service to others. And this is really interesting because the light attributes of this card are passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind and spirit, ability to transform pain into healing. The shadow attributes, taking advantage of those who need help, failing to care for oneself. I think that's really important, the failing to care for oneself. So what I feel is that there is someone in your world at the moment who I think they're quite dominant, actually. I feel that they are someone who, you've known them before, and I think when you knew them before, maybe you were in service to them. I think it is more likely that you were in service to them than they were to you. I don't think you... I don't know that they necessarily treated you badly as such, but there was no equality. It was what I would call the almost like everyday abuse that comes from scenarios and situations where, quite frankly, you know, somebody is basically born into a wealthy family and somebody isn't, and therefore the one who isn't just doesn't have the opportunities, and they are, you know, treated, even if they're treated well, they're treated as a servant, as a slave, really. You know, there's just something in this reading, in this energy here, very aware of the level of light that's coming in, and to the point where I think on the camera you probably can't even see this card. I'm going to make some adjustments to the lighting here just to see if I can make this card a little more visible. I think this is telling us something. I don't think you were visible. If anything, you were kind of invisible in a past life. You know, somebody else got to shine, you didn't. Somebody else was born into a circumstance where, you know, they got looked after, but you didn't. And you've come back together there's a purpose to this. I'm going to just see if I can adjust this light. It feels quite important to do so. It's almost like it's time for you to be seen. It's time for you to be understood, to be able to receive, actually, is coming through. Okay, so I've made a few little adjustments. This is really interesting, Pile 1. I feel like I'm wanting to make sure that you are not outshone, or that you are looked after, that your qualities can be brought to light, that you get to be seen, you get to be visible, you get to be not outshone by others or put into a more subservient position. Now, I suspect the person that we're talking to, for most of you, obviously it's a general reading, but I suspect this is a relationship or a connection with someone, whoever they are, where you have possibly known them for quite some time. We'll draw more cards around it, because there's something very strong. This is someone who can get I won't say get their hooks into you. For some of you, that would be what it feels like. but I think you will almost probably never quite feel good enough around them. You're never going to feel like there's something about them that makes you feel as though you're less worthy, that you don't deserve. I think they're very good actually at looking after themselves. It's almost as though they have an innate sense of entitlement and you don't. It's like you've carried something from your past life into this life, and the connection before was literally that you didn't have any form of equal opportunity around them. You know, it was as simple as that. And it's almost as though there's something in them, that remembrance of the past life, that triggers, it triggers this in you. So it's interesting, you may actually, in some circumstances and around some people, be able to feel, you know, appreciated, worthy. But with this particular person, it's almost as though whenever you're around them, you shrink into the shadows, or feel like you're not worthy, or feel like you're not going to be good enough. There's something about them that feels very strong. Interestingly enough, though, I think part of the karmic pathway here is for you to heal from this, you know, to transform pain into healing. You know, the light attributes: passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind and spirit, ability to help transform pain into healing. I think you know what it's like to be taken advantage of. And in a way, it means that you embrace those light attributes of being able to help the underdog, to be able to assist people who maybe are living in poverty, or are not really getting a fair deal, or are not recognized, they're not seen. But there is definitely someone around you who triggers something of this within you. It's almost as though they spiral you back. This is the spanning of two worlds. You're worlds apart. You were worlds apart. Even though you shared the same world, your lives were worlds apart. And it doesn't mean that now your worlds are worlds apart, but I think you feel like it. And I do think this is somebody who steals the limelight. Doesn't seem to, is quite happy for you to just, you know, go off and do all the menial tasks while they, you know, sit there and, you know, get their hair done or do whatever they're doing. That there's something around this person, and it's almost as though I think it's been very hard for you to stand up for yourself. Let's draw more cards, and in fact let's draw some runes. Get a little bit more information first of all. I'm going to ask for some runes about your pathway now, and some runes around the connection with this other person. Okay, so your pathway now, we have the rune of initiation, Perth. We have Isa, the rune of standstill, and we have Fehu. This is very interesting. Possessions, nourishment. So I think your connection right now, whatever you're going through with this person at the moment, I think you're at a point of emergence where you're not prepared to take second best anymore. I don't think you've emerged yet, and you may even be navigating within yourself how you're going to navigate the way that this person makes you feel stuck. But this is really interesting. Ambitions satisfied comes through with this rune. Possessions, nourishment. It could be that you are standing up, if this person is an employer. It could be you're standing up for a better pay packet, and you're working out, standstill, literally taking a stand. Not prepared to continue giving unless you're going to be paid properly. And I think there is an energy of perseverance around you with the carnelian. It's like you're not prepared to put up with something. This is what's happening at the moment that's around you, I think, with this person. I think you are definitely at a point where you're processing something that you're not prepared to tolerate that level of inequality anymore. And I think you're reviewing it. We have on this rune here, a gateway. We also have the rune of fertility. Now this is interesting because sometimes the rune of fertility, Ingas, it speaks of needing a completion of beginnings. So I think you may have begun to take a stand around this person, and we're seeing fertility, we're seeing nourishment, we're seeing possessions, we're seeing good stuff coming your way. So I think you're actually navigating something. If this is an employer, you may be navigating a new contract. You may even have gone on strike or something, you know, with a determination that you're not prepared to settle for less. There's something going on here around this. You're not going to work your fingers to the bone. If you have someone in your world who takes far more than they give, there's no balance whatsoever. They're running rings around you. You're not having it anymore. The rune of movement. This is the bettering of any situation. Okay, Awaz. So we're seeing something. Your position is going to gather momentum. The purpose, the higher purpose now, is that you are developing your own self-worth. You're developing your ability to have abundance, I think. To let your own garden blossom. Can you see the window behind her is a beautiful garden. You can straddle more than one world. This is all about, in a way, it's coming. She's come back, she, he, however they identify. It's interesting, she came through. So there is quite a strong feminine energy, but this could be anybody, however they identify. But I would say they have quite a strong, almost maternal capacity to look after themselves, to nurture themselves. I don't think that they necessarily nurture you. With that she as well, actually I am getting a message. This could be, for some of you, this could be a maternal figure in your life, a female figure who has a very maternal role, even your mother for some of you, or a grandmother. I'm getting more of a mother energy. But I think in a past life, for some of you, it could have been someone again who was very maternal. They may have been very benevolent to you. I'm getting for some of you quite a clear picture. This, of course, is a general reading, so if very specific messages come through, they will not be for everyone. They will only be for some. So please discard any that are not resonating with you with the specifics here. But I think I'm seeing really quite a, almost like in Victorian times or Edwardian times, when maybe somebody who had plenty of money might employ a companion, but the companion wasn't actually ever paid. I mean, effectively, all that it meant was that they dedicated their life to this person, and they got basically a roof over their head, and they were fed and clothed and very well, you know, so it was very safe and very secure, but there was no opportunity for them to be an individual in their own right, unless they were very, very lucky and they had somebody who genuinely encouraged them, you know, to learn, to read, to write. But, you know, it's quite a selfish, unbalanced kind of scenario. You've come here to change this, to take an ownership of your right and entitlement, actually in many ways to have stuff, possessions, nourishment. It's your, you know, whatever that means for you, whatever abundance means. But I feel there is there's an element of the physical realms here, of being able to, to be able to have an ownership of what you deserve, to earn a good living, to be, to serve others, but also to be paid for it, rather than to serve others in a selfless way where you actually can't look after yourself. I think this is the big shift here. And I think at the moment you're in a position of review. You're reviewing a connection with someone. You're evaluating whether it's working for you or not, or whether you wish to continue with it or not, or whether it can actually be renegotiated. Or, like I said, if this is an employer, you're renegotiating the contract. Something needs to be sort of like wrapped up and signed, sealed, delivered, and then you can move forwards. Let's draw a load more oracle cards. Let's get a bit more information. What's happening at the moment? How is this emerging? What's this transition about? So I'm seeing this card for you. I am going to just draw several oracle cards for you. Well, we've got 3 coming through for you from this pack. I'll use a Wild Kuan Yin. I love these cards. I know some of you are great fans of them as well. So we'll use these first, and then we'll draw some tarot cards too. So the Seas of Mantaka, seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light. Wow. That is a beautiful card. I think something is coming to light, literally, in your world. Perhaps you have been, for some of you, actually giving quite selflessly. Tender trust, beloved body. Perhaps some of you have really been giving selflessly, but you haven't looked after yourself, and almost as if it's taking its toll, actually, for some of you, and you're having to now look after yourself. Yeah, failing to care for oneself, perhaps because you're too busy looking after others. We have the Grand Cross Provoker. We have the South Node, Life's Depths. We have Void of Course Moon missing. Okay. Ever such specific information. I will repeat what I said. What's coming through now will be a message for some, not all. I think for some of you, you were literally an orphan in a previous world. Someone went missing, maybe missing at sea for some of you. You know, maybe in the days when men were breadwinners only, you know, and women didn't work. But I think circumstances changed, and you may have been taken in by a family, or suddenly, do you know, for some of you, seriously big changes of circumstances. Grand Cross Provoker, in a past life, something shifted. Your circumstances changed. You could have been born into quite beneficial circumstances, then something went horribly wrong. And it reminds me of this, there's a story I remember listening to it when I was a child, and it was a story about a little girl who, I think her mother had possibly passed away, and her father absolutely adored her and placed her into some sort of an establishment where, you know, they were looked after like princesses, but he went missing, or he died, or something happened, and so she was then literally, you know, they made her into a servant, and the other girls, you know, taunted her, took advantage of her, teased her, you know, at a time when she was desperately hurting. It really took advantage of her, at her vulnerability. But then it turned out she'd inherited a vast fortune, so at some point the tables were completely turned. And of course the people who had treated her so badly, you know, it all came to light. Well, that's as I remember it. But I feel there's been some sort of circumstances around that. Something radically changed in a past life, where I think you had some sort of status that was then shifted. Slavery could be something for some of you, where you were living a beautiful, wonderful life with community, with family, and you were kind of wrenched away, taken overseas, went missing from your family, or your family went missing from you. You may have been taken overseas, separated from your family. I just feel there's, you know, it's this massive change of circumstances that we're being shown here. The South Node, Life's Debts, you know, showing up here. I actually feel that you have come back into this life to overcome this, to overcome anything within you that sort of says you can't have, actually. And so in a way, what you've found yourself is connected to somebody who makes you feel as though you don't deserve, or makes you feel as though you are less than, whether they were attached to the exact same life before, which for some they could have been, or whether you've met them now because they've come here to assist you in learning to stand up for yourself, because actually now you can when you couldn't before. You simply couldn't. Let's draw some tarot cards. What else are we being shown here? I'm going to use this pack first. Maybe we have information about how this is unfolding, this process of transformation. Disappointment. Success. Okay, that's beautiful. I'm sorry you've been disappointed. But yeah, I think this person has sort of disappointed you or let you down once too many times. I think you're waking up, you're bringing stuff, it's coming to light. It's really becoming very obvious that this person has an excessive sense of their own entitlement. And, you know, it's not okay. So the karmic element of the learning, and, you know, we can be grateful for the learning, I think, from someone, is to say, do you know what? Thanks, but no thanks. Or, you know, we must renegotiate this. Or, you know, I'm worth more than this. So just as I think something triggered or happened actually in a past life that sent you on a very, very different pathway, I think now you are coming back. The life steps is to reclaim your own sense of entitlement, your own right to be treated well, to be paid well, to be valued for what you bring and what you do and what you give. It's like, you know, life, kind of like life actually owes you something now, but you've also got to reach out and grasp it. It won't come to you on a plate. This is you having to overcome any inhibitions, any fears, any blocks to your success. And at the moment you're in a transitionary space where you're processing this. I think you know it intellectually. The question is, can you really embrace it in your heart, knowing that you can have and you do deserve? That's what I'm seeing in your reading. So this person in many ways has come into your world with a significant degree of purpose. Let's ask how this is emerging. Maybe we get a little bit more guidance. Just ask, is there any guidance for you? How might this emerge? Could we have guidance for pile 1? You've got 5 of Cups again, twice. Okay. I think this is a real tricky one for you to stand up. I think you're also fearful of disappointing someone because you know what it feels like. How interesting. You have Ace of Wands, but this is really encouraging you to step up, to see this clearly. You're being encouraged to step forth. Maybe this person makes you feel bad, as if you were to not give them your all, you're disappointing them, and that holds weight. But actually, it's really time for you to know where this comes from and to step into your own entitlement, your own success. Yeah, 2 of Pentacles, absolutely. To feather your own nest, to line your own pockets, to bring things back into balance. If necessary, to set sail, metaphorically. And for some of you, it could be. You know, you might be thinking, if you were thinking of relocating and this person's making you feel really bad, like you'll be letting me down. How am I going to cope without you? Well, they'll cope, trust me. This is time for you to embrace what's right for you. Set forth, set sail. Everything needs to come back into balance here. The timing's really right for you, actually. And the learning curve, the karmic learning here, South Node, is for you to own what is rightfully yours, which is ultimately whatever you decide you want to create for yourself, and not a life of service. Okay, so we have 6 of Wands. How amazing that we start with the 5s, 2 5s of Cups, disappointment, and then we end up with 2 6s, the 6 of Wands and the 6 of Pentacles here, the card of success. There is actually for some of you, there's actually something right in front of you that you want to take, a gateway that you want to step through. It could be a relocation. It could be a new job. You want to you want to grasp something, and it's either right in front of you and you're debating because you're fearful of disappointing someone or fearful of owning what you really want, or it's going to be in front of you, but you've got to seize the moment and believe in yourself. You've got to process this. Look at that, Ace of Swords. You've got two aces here. Ace of Wands, Ace of Swords. This is about your determination, which is what carnelian is about. Carnelian is a rock, a stone. Honestly, I swear it's sort of like it does what it says on the tin. It's about perseverance, getting through to the finish line, achieving what you need to achieve. I just think that you need to hold really firm boundaries around this person and this situation. Because, yeah, it's right for you to do this. It's really, really right for you to do this. Let's check out a few more cards here. Let's draw some more oracle cards. Okay, let's see what else we can draw. I've got the karma cards here. May we ask if there's any additional guidance as to how to navigate this? Okay, so we have self-confidence to create. This is the Leo card. Be bold, be bright, be yourself, step up, be bold, go for it. Leadership, do what you want to. Wonderful, do what you want to. Take a chance, resulting from the impressiveness. There's something about your self-confidence. Do you know what? I think there is something you want to do, whether it's simply to say no to someone or it's to move away. I think this is really encouraging you to be bold, be brave, and take a full ownership of what you know you deserve and desire. That is what your reading is all about. And recognize the purpose of these readings ultimately is to recognize the reason this person is so challenging for you is because you knew them before. I mean, maybe you felt indebted to them because after some mega disappointment, they actually treated you well. You know, actually it would be like, you know, if you were wrenched from your home and taken overseas, and then you feel grateful for the fact that somebody's actually treating you well. But it, you know, let's say you were sent into slavery. I'm going to use that as an example. But it doesn't mean it was okay. Just because you were treated well and you developed a loyalty to someone because they were caring towards you and looked after you, that's wonderful. They may even have protected you. But it doesn't make the circumstance okay. And it doesn't mean that you owe them anything now. You've come here to really ditch that sense of owing people. Personal power. Wow. 8th house. The mysteries of life, a major change. Getting power and getting used to power. Use other people's resources. Yeah, don't be afraid to actually accept help. Don't be afraid to accept help. And if you do accept help from someone, you don't owe them your life, your soul. You know, if someone offers you help, make sure it's a straightforward arrangement. This is all about ownership. Absolutely all about ownership of yourself. The power of love, investment, gambles and other games, your creations, the 5th house. And you've got Leo. Wow. You've got the dice. Be prepared to take a chance with the trust of a child. Oh, fun, romance, making art. Do it dramatically. Do you know what, beautiful souls? This is, I feel like you are reclaiming who you can be. Almost like you're reclaiming something that was taken from you in a previous life. Do you know what, beloved souls? You owe no one. You owe no one anything beyond source, spirit, and your angels and your guides who are there 100% to address the imbalance and kind of almost pay you back for the losses that you experienced in the previous lifetime. But you've carried a memory of this, and the person that we are tuning in with, whoever they are to you, somehow triggers something of this. It may be that they were one of those people in your past life, but you don't owe them anything now. And now, you know, rather than sliding into that autopilot response where unconsciously you just fit with them because that's how you've been, this is time to turn this around seriously, big time. Wow, these readings are coming through in depth. Pile 1, I feel this is your reading. I think you're at a really significant turning point with the Rune of Gateway. This is about you owning your entitlement, your abundance, your right to equality, you know, to be respected, to be cared for, to be paid well. And you don't have to feel guilty or owe someone something just because they acknowledge you. They're acknowledging you because you deserve it. And that's it. It's really actually quite straightforward. This is time for you to embrace the wholeness of everything you can have for yourself, my beautiful souls, with a clear mindset. Don't let anything hold you back here. 6 of Wands and the 6 of Pentacles, success. I mean, we're seeing a marriage here. So yeah, if there's someone around you who is sort of not wanting you to set forth, get married, have a great life, well, you know, that's their agenda. It's not your problem. I mean, really, truly. This is really permission giving, 100%. Pile 1, it really, really is. So beautiful souls, it's an honor and a privilege to be connected with you. This is a serious level of soul growth that you are embracing, because in taking an ownership of yourself and your entitlement, you're not repeating the patterns of history. You're undoing those patterns of history. You are declaring that any form of inequality is not okay. And by owning what you can have, you give permission to others to do the same. Pile 1, this is your reading. Beautiful souls, I hope this is resonating with you. There's been some quite specific messages coming through. I don't know how much you know of your past lives. For some of you, this will be making sense if you're aware of your past lives. For others, if it's resonating, you'll kind of know in yourself which of the messages are right for you. Pile 1, thank you for joining me. Thank you all of you who give back through the super thanks in the comments. Thank you all of you who comment. Thank you for sharing your stories. I mean, this is an amazing community that we're building here on YouTube, and we are building it. It's not just me, it's all of you. You make this possible. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Don't forget to subscribe and press the little bell icon if you want to never miss a reading as soon as I upload them. I post generally 3 readings a week, Tuesdays, Fridays and Sundays. On Sunday, always, we look at weekly guidance. The homepage here on YouTube, the Moon Magic homepage, is full of readings that are timeless. So if you ever need to find a reading, do check in on the homepage, scroll through the videos. You should be able to find the guidance for you at any time. And otherwise, of course, there are loads of really amazing readers out here on YouTube. Beautiful souls, tons and tons of love to you. Pile 2, welcome to your reading, beautiful souls. So you have the card of Alchemist, light attribute, transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom, shadow attribute, misuse of the power and knowledge that comes with spiritual practice. Okay, you have the crystal ball. Okay, so are you a seer? What are your psychic abilities? So first off, I'm going to draw from the Akashic Tarot and find out about the connection to the person we're asking about. Can we have an indication, please, of the connection to the person? Okay, how interesting that we have the Divine Physician, which is a card of healing. Okay. I'm going to draw some runes as well. Transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. There's a distinct energy of healing through divination. I'm wondering if some of you are healers now, but were healers actually. I'm wondering if in a past life you might have been either persecuted or targeted, like both revered but targeted. You know, a lot of healers were, of course. Let's draw some runes. First of all, let's ask about you. And then I'm going to ask about this other person that's relevant to you at the moment. So you have the rune of defense, Aries. You have the rune of ice, Isa, and the rune of Gibo, partnership. Okay. Okay. I'm wondering, why are you holding yourself back? I feel like you actually are genuinely quite a gifted healer. We have the rune of the spiritual warrior. We have Othilla. This is the rune of inheritance, separation. We have the rune of initiation, Perth. How interesting, this did come out. These two runes came out in pile 1. I'm wondering if in a past life, actually, beautiful souls, I think you may have, I want to sort of say, failed to heal, or and that's not through lack of, you know, like, I don't know, if you were healing people and then the plague came or something. Do you feel there's quite a lot of sort of medieval energy around these readings today, actually? That will be relevant to some, but not all. Maybe you've been trying to find some sort of healing. Okay, so I think there's someone around you at the moment who you would like to help to heal. Okay, you really, really, really would like to assist them in healing. I'm not sure if you feel that you can, or just a really interesting energy. I need more cards, I will be honest with you, beautiful souls. I need to get more cards to find out a bit more about the connection with this person now and in the past life as well. Let's get connection to them now. Perspective, none of this matters. Zoom out, common ground. Okay. And what about the past life connection? Loosen your grip. Coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. Look at this falling here. Okay. So we have a saying in the counselling world. I used to work, for those of you, if you're new to my channel, I was an accredited counsellor, psychotherapist for a long, long time. I've always read cards as well, but not always in my practice. But anyway, we have in the counselling world, we have a joke. It says, how many counsellors does it take to change a light bulb? Only one, but the light bulb has to want to change. Okay. I feel like for some of you, there is someone around you, zoom out, you know, where you really, really, really you want to fix it for them. I think maybe they're sitting in the dark. And the interesting thing is, it's like, in a way, I think you know that you can't be the fixer of someone else. You can't be, you can offer healing, but ultimately healing comes in many different shapes and forms. I know my own mentor always says healing is when we are comfortable with ourselves, when we are at ease with ourselves and at peace with ourselves. Maybe you've tried to heal a scenario or a situation with someone where you couldn't. It was gonna fall anyway. It was going to. I feel like you're working overtime to try and fix something, basically, with someone. And I think it's a losing battle, because I don't think that they have an investment in changing. But let's ask why. Coping mechanisms, density, addiction. I mean, maybe what they've brought from their past life is something that they're still very, very attached to. You know, their past life, or the most recent past life, meant that they arrived here with quite an entrenched approach to things, and however much you give, I don't think you're going to be able to fix this. It's, you know, I'm sorry, because it feels like you really want to. You'd love to have looked into your crystal ball and, you know, envisaged a beautiful future, but there's something about someone around you that you can't change. And there's a big lesson in this one here for you, really, actually, about recognizing exactly that. You know, how many counsellors does it take to change a light bulb? Only one, but the light bulb has to want to change. I do think you are a gifted healer. I want to voice this, beautiful souls. I think you have real gifts of healing, and I think you know that. In a way, it's why certain people are attracted to you, because you are an amazing healer. But they aren't always coming into your life to get better. They'll come into your life because being with you will make the quality of their life better, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they want to fix themselves and heal. Okay, wow. Boundaries, 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 boundaries. Sometimes the rune of Awaz speaks of boundaries. I always feel the rune of defense. When all that's spilled over, maybe somebody is spilling over quite a lot. This person spills over. I'm seeing this and these two as well. And actually, just the wild Kuan Yin, there's a card just slid off the top. I'm going to go with that one. So we have Capricorn, I use. It's our wild. Let the world spin, or let your world spin on its axis. Turn something round. Turn it upside down. Look at it differently. Capricorn, I use. Solar eclipse, revolution. Mercury retrograde, reinvention. Now this is interesting. You see, I think part of your calling, your purpose is that you are a healer. Actually, I think that's why you're here. And in many ways, the person that, you know, is around you at the moment is kind of teaching you about, they're almost teaching you about your own perspectives within healing. This is reminding me, actually, a long time ago when I first became a counsellor. I think I had quite an idealised view of everyone's ability to heal. And it was quite tough for me to learn that, you know, not everybody, you know, some people would come forward because they needed support, but they didn't necessarily want to get better. They were coming to make the quality of their lives better, to navigate problems more easily as such, but they didn't want to navigate away from problems. There was just, I just feel like I had to shift from a place of of idealization in terms of and just recognize with humility that it was not my role to fix anyone. My role was to facilitate somebody else's healing if they chose to embark upon it. It wasn't for me to get it right for others. And I feel that you are very gifted. You're a very, very gifted healer. And I think you're needing to maybe take a different perspective on something here. I suspect you may bring something forth as well. You see, I think there's something in your purpose and your calling that may also separate you from mainstream methods of healing. You may actually be somebody who may bring something forth, actually, that can offer a level of healing to a group of people who perhaps we didn't think could be healed. You may come up with something, an idea or an alternative way of working that really works. It's revolutionary. You teach people to use this method. You're reinventing something in a completely different way, changing people's perspectives. I think this is part of your calling. And so whoever is around you, now for some of you, you could be inquiring about somebody who actually is helping you to develop something that will assist people. Yes, I do think assist people in healing who perhaps we previously didn't think could be healed. working with different methods. Yeah, I think something that is going to be very, very different from traditional ways or standard mainstream ways of working. Perhaps again you're working with addictions. If we thought that people couldn't be healed from certain addictions, I think maybe you are beginning to find and develop methods of treatments that can assist people genuinely. Perhaps you really are reinventing the wheel. Interesting, I feel the focus in your reading is much more about your purpose and your calling than about the past life connection, which is curious, but I think it's such a big focus. And it's meant to be that way. Maybe get some more information. Can we ask a little bit, just another card about the person that we might be inquiring about? Okay, I'm seeing more than one card, so let's take these. The Devil. Okay, how interesting. And then we have indolence. Now the Devil, interestingly enough, is a card of addictions. I feel like there could be someone around you who's kind of a bit like your nemesis. Or somebody, let's say you have someone around you that has been really, really, really challenging for you. But you know what? It's that connection, that relationship that inspired you to develop the ways of healing that are now available to you. Perhaps to become a healer, to become a therapist, to become a counselor, to become, you know, whatever, to invent something, to create something. I actually do. I think that there's been someone of great influence in your world, and even though I think they were really, really challenging and really, really hard work, it has caused you to want to step up, and now what you're developing is actually potentially going to be very successful. We have the card of works and we have the Ace of Swords. Yeah, I do feel that you have potentially an idea or something that you can do that's really quite unique. If you work at it, with the Three of Pentacles here, if you are prepared to work at it, you will succeed. Okay? There's no room for complacency here, actually, interestingly enough. I think this is really clear that this is very much about your calling, your purpose, and recognizing that you have gained from somebody or a group of people who've been really hard work or a really challenging situation. But the purpose of that was to inspire you to then step into those healing qualities within you and develop some kind of method of working, which is going to revolutionize the way something is seen. You could be dealing with depression or with trauma, but you're working at it. And actually, there has been someone who's proved to be pretty challenging for you. But in all honesty, they've given you the insight and awareness to become that healer, to know where something needs to be healed, because you've been through it, you've understood it. This is fascinating, pile two, absolutely fascinating. I feel that any relationships you've had that with people who haven't wanted to change or who've been very stuck in their ways or caused you to have to defend yourself, I just feel that they've contributed to who you are today, actually. Okay, through challenging circumstances. It would be like if you grew up with an alcoholic parent, or indolence with a narcissistic parent or something. This will be so difficult, but it's because of those difficult experiences that you now are able to be a healer, not just to yourself, but to others. You can use your life experiences to help people to see things differently, None of this matters. Perspective, zoom out, common ground. Let's draw more cards. So how is the healing element of this panning out? I mean, there's definitely been purpose to what's gone on. Wow. Okay. So, loads of cards showing themselves, but let's look at these first because they flipped over. So 8 of Pentacles, yeah. I mean, this is a card that literally says if you're going to work at something, you can bring it forth. Like, I'm seeing this almost like new invention, new way of doing something, new way of seeing things. King of Wands, Justice, the Chariot, and 8 of Swords. I genuinely think that you can turn something around. You can bring something forth. It's like turning almost like a hobby into a career, but there's something that you can create, you're inventing, and you'll be a leader in your field. I think there will be, you may actually get recognition for it, you know, like I almost want to say like a knighthood, or a, you know when you get recognition from, you know, the powers to be, as it were. I also think this is going to advance quite quickly. What's happening at the moment is, I think, around you, you are needing to hold your confidence in this, okay? Because if you've grown up with a narcissist in the family, it doesn't matter how amazing you are, you'll often find yourself thrown into pockets of self-doubt. It's just, unfortunately, one of the residues of that. But, you know, this is, you're onto a winner of some sort here. There's something you're going to do that will assist many, many people. Interestingly enough, ultimately, it will really assist you because you'll get over the self-doubt. We then have the 7 of Pentacles, so it needs nurturing. We have the 4 of Wands, but it will come to fruition. You may also need some help at some point. We have the 9 of Pentacles and the 7 of Wands. Okay, this is interesting because in many ways, I think what I will say with the 7 of Wands is that you could, I won't say encounter opposition, but it would be like developing some really alternative method of working with people and then getting some resistance to it with the 7 of Wands, because it's so amazing that, you know, maybe not everyone will immediately be on board, but you just need to keep going. Climb the ladder of success here. I think you'll get the backup and the right people will come at the right time to assist you. That's what I think. You're onto a winner here. You need to invest in it with the 7 of Pentacles, and you will reach a point where you're going to find the right people to support you, the right people to help you. And the rewards, you'll be able to sit back and feel really good about this. And yes, there's work to be done, to be honest. I'd be lying if I didn't sort of take an acknowledgement of that. There's definitely work to be done, but you can do it. This is a time to step up rather than down. And what you're bringing forth is going to be of benefit to many. Let's have ask for just a bit more guidance, any information that would be helpful to pile 2. Patiently, what you want, get what you need, your beliefs, what you value, your resources. Right, okay, so some of you are feeling a little stretched as to how you're going to bring this forth, even though you really want to. That's okay, just be patient and persevere, one step at a time. Really clear guidance coming through for you, pile 2. Your ideas, short-term thinking and trips, who or what is around you, making the right connections, the idea in question, get your ideas going. Take it step by step, actually. This is one of those scenarios where, to some extent, it's going to find its own way into being. It would be like knowing you are a gifted healer, finding the confidence to start reaching out and offering healing to people. And then every step of the way, gradually it builds and it builds, but you didn't necessarily see the end goal to start with. You just saw the potential in this. But by taking it step by step, you suddenly find you've got to where you want to be, and it's amazing. And you think, how did I get here? Maybe ask for further guidance, please. Learn or teach. Look at this, grow and expand. Jupiter, wow, blessings from, with blessings, granting of blessings, good fortune, Jupiter. This is absolutely going to succeed. Look at this, the attraction of pleasure, good times, Venus. How beautiful, cherish, enjoy. Whatever you are potentially working on that is going to bring healing and benefit to others, it's really going to succeed big time, okay? So this really is a time to climb the ladder of success. And I think you have had experiences where maybe people have put your ideas down or given you difficult experiences, but there is an irony in this. The more challenging the experiences, the more we grow, and therefore the more you can contribute to the benefit of the bigger picture, of all to grow, really, not just yourselves. I think this is actually amazing. I think your pathway has probably been decided and orientated from sort of day one. And the kinds of people you've had in your life have been probably quite envious, quite competitive of you. But beautiful souls, keep going, have patience. I think what you are working on is going to bring you, it's going to turn your world on its axis. It's going to revolutionize the way that people see things. And to be quite honest, I think ultimately you are going to be plain sailing. So whatever relationships you've had that have been difficult, you know, whilst I am deeply sorry, you know, the Ascended Masters have absolutely been walking with you every step of the way. You're definitely being guided, beautiful souls, you really are. So pile two, this is your reading. I feel it's been less about a someone, curiously enough, and more, it's not that there isn't a someone around you, but or indeed people, or have been a series of people through your life. But you know, I think the difficulties that you've seen in people, met in people, have compounded your desire to make a difference. And you really are a gifted healer. Whatever you are bringing forth, persevere, keep at it. The future is looking very, very, very bright. Pile 2, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for all of you who give back through the super thanks in the comments. Thank you for those of you who comment and share your amazing stories. It's wonderful to be connected with you. And beautiful souls, if you want to make sure you never miss a reading, if you subscribe and press the little bell icon, as soon as I upload anything, you should get a notification. These are very deep readings, but yeah, I really feel that there's all of the emphasis in your reading is about now and what you're being guided to do, and any relationships you've had, past or present, that have caused you in many ways to step up, you know, potentially through challenge and adversity. This is what's taking you forwards. This is where the ideas are coming from to evolve, emerge and develop. So pile 2, this is amazing. I am sending you all the love in the world, beautiful souls. Thank you so much for being here, and tons of love. I look forward to seeing you for some other readings really soon. Pile 3, welcome to your reading. You have companion, light attributes, loyalty, tenacity and unselfishness. Shadow attributes, betrayal by misusing confidences, loss of personal identity. Now, we're asking about your connection to a person who you have a past life connection to, potentially. But more than that, we're asking why. You know, what's the value? What's the purpose? You know, what's going to come from this that could be good? So I'm going to draw straight away from the Akashic Tarot. We have, okay, the journey, 7 of Roses. Okay. What I see in this card, I think you have absolutely known this person. I think you've literally travelled together. Let's check in some runes as well. I'm going to move your amethyst heart over here. May we have information? First of all, let's ask for some runes for you and then for this other person. These are for you. This is for the other person. So, you have the rune of strength. You have the rune of the self. You have the rune of, well, it's the blank rune full of possibility. We then have Othilla, separation, inheritance, Rado, journey, and the spiritual warrior, Taurus. Okay. I think that the person that you are asking about, I actually do think you were extremely close to them in a past life. You could have been siblings, I think, with the rune of the self, even twins. You were either siblings or you could have been partners, like it would have been a twin flame connection in a past life. And we've got Rado, the rune of journey, and we have the journey. I think you've agreed to come back at this point in time. Now you've come back with purpose. To be that, I think maybe you couldn't do something previously, maybe you were separated, but you've come back because you've wanted an opportunity to do something here with the rune, the blank rune. It's like a space of possibility to journey together for a while. The rune of Taurus, it's very decisive, it's very discerning. Loyalty, tenacity, unselfishness. Yeah, I think you've had a very close connection with this person. Either, as I said, a twin, a sibling, a twin flame. Could be a twin sibling or a twin flame. The word twin is coming through. I don't think you could complete your journey together. I don't think, for whatever reason in a past life, you were able to sort of, your lives or the potential that sat between you. I always think with the rune of strength, we can build things. I think the potential that sat between you was unfulfilled in a past life. You know, whatever that is. It could be intimacy, it could just be, you know, being connected, having that absolute best friend, you know, in a sibling or, you know, someone. But one way or the other, it couldn't be fulfilled. And you've come back together at this point in time in order to, almost like to re-find your direction. There was so much potential that couldn't be brought to its fullness for whatever reason, and we can look a little at it, though I'm very interested. I always think with past lives, the real benefit of a past life isn't to go back into tons of details about it. It's to look at what we do now. Why are we here now? What's the value of understanding a past life now, so that we can navigate with greater awareness now and achieve the fullest potential now. So this is a reading that's connected to someone you've known closely before. It got cut short, or you couldn't, for whatever reason, fulfill the greatest potential that you could have made or become through knowing one another. And I think you've come back to do this now. This is really very strong. If this is not feeling like a particularly positive connection for you, the person you've thought about, I'm going to say it may be that the reading isn't for you, but let's draw more cards first of all and see. It feels a very positive connection, actually, interestingly enough. We have Earthed, learning how to be human in the world, but not of it. Wow. Okay. I mean, that's a biggie, isn't it? Literally, maybe you have been twin flames from another dimension. But yeah, you've come together to learn how to walk the pathway of the spiritual warrior, how to learn to be human, but really holding that spiritual pathway. What else do we have? Wow, this is impressive. Wait, it's not time yet. Things are being woven. Okay. And look at this. I mean, the imagery is amazing with the spiraling of the universe, or universes. Wow, galaxies. Okay. What I feel I'm getting from this, beautiful souls, is that the person you are thinking of, or the person that this reading is referring to, isn't yet, you're not yet in a space where it's sort of coming together, as it were, but it's going to. The timing isn't quite right just yet, but I think you either, if this is someone that you feel you're questioning, is this my twin flame and I haven't yet met them, then this is a reassurance that you will meet that twin flame. They are out there. This is someone from a past life who you were separated from. You weren't able to fulfill the greatest potential of who you could be, and so you've come back this time at an agreed time, but it's not quite, we're not quite there yet. However, this is a reassurance. If this is someone that you are asking about that you already know, then there is greater assurances. For some reason, something isn't quite moving forwards just yet, but you will be beginning your journey soon. I mean, the Seven of Roses is a card where they are waiting to embark upon a journey together. So there's something that isn't quite ready yet. Mercury retrograde, reinvention. Fourth house, roots. Neptune, sacrifice. How interesting. And lastly, we have her joy overcomes gravity. Okay, it may not yet be the time, but when this happens, when this moves forwards, whatever this is, it's going to be unbelievably joyful. You will be able to put down roots. I even like with Mercury in retrograde, we're seeing two people, reinvention. Literally, I think you can fulfill everything that you wanted to fulfill but couldn't in a previous life. This reading is so clear, so clear. Indeed, I suspect in a past life, perhaps sacrifices were made. Maybe one of you was even sacrificed, or one of you might have sacrificed yourself for the other. If this was a really close relationship, it could be where one sibling sacrificed themselves for another, or a family member sacrificed themselves so the other could live, in real turmoil, real battle. But you're coming back together with purpose in whatever shape or form in this lifetime this relationship will take. It may be a twin flame connection, but it doesn't have to be. It could just be that it's someone where you just resonate so strongly, you sing from the same page. It could be that best buddy that you have, the best friend you've ever could ever have. It could even be a long lost sibling, but you've known each other in a previous lifetime as well. But it is coming. That's what I'm hearing. It's not quite with you yet, but it is coming. You're going to be able to put down roots. You're going to be able to rebuild the world that effectively you couldn't have last time. Whatever was sacrificed, it can be, it's almost like you experienced a major challenge of separation in the previous life, and you agreed at a level of soul that you would come back, and it was agreed that you could come back. In the Akashic records, you could come back and relive again and have everything that you didn't have then, and this will come, but it's not time yet. Things are still being woven. There we have a little bit more information. Okay, so we've got the card of disappointment, Five of Cups, and we have the Prince of Cups. Okay, curiously enough, I think for you to really know one another, to be that very best friend, to be that literally soulmate, whether that's, you know, soulmates come in many different shapes and sizes. That can be the business partner, it can be the best friend, it can be, you know, it could be a lover, you know, it could be any of these things. But sometimes we have to go through some big stuff before we're really ready to handle the power of this level of connection. So I feel that maybe you've had many disappointments, actually, whether it's in friendships, maybe betrayals by misusing confidences. I feel deep in your heart and soul, you've been looking for this person, actually. I think you've known, I think you absolutely know you've been looking for this particular person. There's something in you that feels like there's a piece of you missing and you haven't found it in someone, but you've tried. And I think you've hoped that you've met that person and then you've experienced disappointment. You may have put your trust and your faith in people, believing, gosh, this will be the one, as it were. And then, you know, that's gone wrong. You've been disappointed, you've been betrayed. But do you know what? The right person is coming, and I think you've had to experience some challenges in order to almost become sort of emotionally mature enough within your relationships and connections with people to be able to truly handle the power, Prince of Cups, the power of this connection, because I think it's huge. What else are we shown here? Yeah, the Sun. I mean, this indicates sometimes a relationship of significantly higher consciousness. I mean, this is like rubber stamping exactly that. This will be an amazing connection. It will be the best friend, the best buddy, the best partner intimately. It's something of a profound connection here. Loyalty, tenacity, unselfishness. I mean, it will be a joy to be with this person. And if they are not around you yet, if you're asking about someone and you think it might be them, this may well be the confirmation. For some reason they were having to wait, things are being woven. Maybe they are having to process some form of disappointment before they are ready. Maybe you're still processing something. Let's ask about how this is going to unfold. Can we be given any idea of timings as well? So we have the Star, okay, we have the Three of Swords, we have the Devil. Okay, so either you or the other person is actually still processing some form of betrayal or disappointment. And in many ways, until that's fully processed, it's not possible to sort of cut the cords and be completely available for something that is as big as this. So this has got to sort of run its course, okay? Because this is huge. You've got to re-find your North Star. You've got to completely let go of any disappointments and be fully available to be able to seize the moment and start a new journey together and really fulfill every possibility that you couldn't in the previous lifetime. But yeah, it may be, if you, my beautiful souls, pile 3, are ready, it may be that this other person isn't. There's still something going on around them. We have the Six of Wands and Justice. The timing, when the timing is right, this will happen. I mean, the Six of Wands is the card of success. How beautiful that is. You know, we're seeing a union, a connection. So, as I said, whatever this is, whether it is love, well, it's love pure and simple. Whether it's an intimate partnership or your best friend, it's love, unconditional love, pure and simple. If you've been waiting for a child and maybe they haven't yet been born to you, this could be the child, you know, and you've known them before. Perhaps that relationship was severed in a previous life and you've been waiting. Sometimes this rune indicates pregnancy. Perhaps you are waiting, but the time will be right. Yes, justice will be served. The timing will be right. You've just got to possibly wait while something else is being processed. Let's see if we can get an idea of the speed of this timing, please. Can we have any idea of the speed of this? I know this is a general reading, so it's for many. So we have Five of Swords. We have Knight of Cups. And we have King of Pentacles. Okay. In a way, I just feel that one of you, whether it's you or this other person, or, and I said this could be a new soul waiting to be born even, but something is still being processed. It's coming to an end now with the Five of Swords. I mean, that's a, you know, a point where something changes. With the Star, it's like finding your North Star. The Knight of Cups, marching forwards. Yeah, I sort of feel when you reach a point, you or they, depending on the scenario, where they can look forwards rather than back, that's when it's going to happen. That's when it emerges. That's when you get to kind of have your cake and eat it, really. See if we can get a bit more information. And if it's a new one waiting to be born, it may be that you, having had disappointments, are needing to be ready to receive them into the world. Okay, but this is a very special connection that you are waiting for. You may already know this person, but they're not quite ready, or you're not quite ready to receive them. Let's just get a bit more information. So we have practicality. We've got Taurus here. Beliefs, practicality. I feel there's some sort of genuinely practical stuff that has to get sorted first. Okay, before this can emerge. We've got information to explain communications. We've got the card of Gemini. What you want to be known, what is believed about. Interesting. This also talks about your beliefs. Okay, maybe for some of you, you're actually also having to process that this is possible. Even if in your heart and your soul you have longed for this connection, and you know that person is out there because you have almost like an innate memory of them, and yet a part of you hasn't quite believed, and it may be that bit of you that hasn't quite believed that has got to be laid to rest. Who you are, your desires, your actions, this is the first house. The way you project yourself. It says immediately as well, first house. I think this is very, very potentially imminent, okay? I sort of feel what's around you is the energy of emotions, of some really practical, pragmatic stuff, you know, having to process some stuff. Maybe for some of you, you've had to leave something. It would be like, I don't know, if you were moving out of one area to another and you are longing to meet that best buddy, that best friend, and you sort of really, a gut feeling says, when I move, I'm going to meet them. You probably will, but you've kind of practically got to move first because you're not quite in the right area. It's just got this flavour of something is yet to be sorted, but I think it's imminent once the something is sorted. And I think for some of you, you'll know what that is. Self-confidence, yeah, so for some of you it's about self-doubt as well. This is Leo, taking a chance. Yes, you've got to be prepared to jump in. Leadership, do what you want to. I think for some of you, you've actually got to be prepared to take a risk and jump in. If there is someone that you do know and you really like them, or you'd like to do more with them as a friend, or even if this is partnership for some of you, you've got to reach out. You've got to get out of your own way, basically. Get out of your own way and be prepared to take that risk. Be prepared to surrender to the experience. But if you're really blown away by someone, it might be feeling very wobbly and very uncertain about doing it, but it's really worth it. That's what we're seeing here. So pile 3. Your reading actually is very clear. Someone you have known before, your journey together, where you were wrenched apart. You're waiting for them, and you are looking for one another. And this reading is really affirming this is going to come. in whatever shape or form it needs to. And actually, for some of you, I think you do know the person, but you haven't plucked up the courage to reach out, or there's something going on in their world that means they're not yet fully available. For others, if you haven't yet met the person, I think in your heart of hearts you know you're going to, and this reading is an affirmation that that will come to fruition and it will happen. But you will need to be decisive and take action when it presents. Beautiful souls, I feel very inclined just to draw a few more cards to see what else we're shown, if there's any additional guidance for you, and then we will wrap up the reading for today. May we please ask if there is any additional guidance for you to know cruelty. Right, this is, you've got a lot of self-doubt and a lot of fear around whether this is possible. You're going to have to overcome this fear. You really are. Because that's what's currently, I think, predominantly in the way. The magician, the alchemist, you can do this. You can make this happen. You can manifest this. You're going to have to get out of your own way and release any element of self-doubt. We have the Four of Cups and the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups showing up twice. Yeah. I actually think if this is someone you know, I think there might be a need to reach out, actually. Make the first move, maybe. Tentatively. See where it might go. Beautiful souls. You're going to have to be open and available to receive and ditch any form of self-doubt if this connection is to flourish. However it lands for you. Pile 3, this is your reading. So I'm thrilled for you because it feels like this is a relationship of genuine magnitude. And it actually was. It was a connection before, and just those circumstances that were out of your control, that were actually utterly cruel, meant that you couldn't complete the journey together that you wanted. But this person is coming back into your world with exactly this purpose. The purpose is to fulfill everything that you were unable to do in the previous lifetime together. Pile 3, thank you so much for joining me. This is your reading. Beautiful souls, thank you all for those of you who give back through the super thanks in the comments. It's such an honour and a privilege to read for you. And thank you all of you who comment. It is wonderful to hear your stories. I mean, you're very aware as a bunch of people. You really are remarkable. It's a joy to hear what's happening in your worlds. Beautiful souls, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to make sure you never miss a reading, I post generally on Tuesdays, Fridays and Sundays. You know, if you press the subscribe and then the little bell icon, you should never miss a reading. Hopefully that will be fabulous. And my beautiful souls, wow, this looks as though this really is going to be an amazing connection and fulfilling everything you couldn't before. So beautiful souls, how wonderful is that? Tons of love, Pile 3.